Many times, the problem of our financial outgo exceeding our input is a self boundary issue. When we have difficulty saying no to spending more than we should, we run the risk of becoming someone else's servant. As it says in the Bible, Proverbs 22:7, the rich rule over the poor, the borrower is servant to the lender. Boundaries. Boom. The out of control soul. Overeating, in the area of overeating. For overeaters, which I have been known to eat a taco or two, food serves as a false boundary. Mind blown. They might use food to avoid intimacy by gaining weight and becoming less attractive, or they might binge as a way to get false closeness. For bingers, the comfort from food is less scary than the prospect of real relationships. That also ties in with it. He goes into saying in money. Many times, the problem of our financial outgo exceeding our input is a self boundary issue. When we have difficulty saying no to spending more than we should, we run the risk of becoming someone else's servant. As it says in the Bible, Proverbs 22:7, the rich rule over the poor, the borrower is servant to the lender. Also talks about time, which is another area for me. Do you know anybody that are out of control in their time? So people whose time is out of control inconvenience others, whether they mean to or not. The problem often stems from one or more of the following causes: omnipotence. These people have unrealistic, somewhat grandiose expectations of what they can accomplish in a given amount of time. No problem, I'll do it. I got this. Number two, over responsibility for the feelings of others. They think that leaving a party too early will cause the host to feel abandoned. Lack of realistic anxiety. They live so much in the present, they neglect to plan ahead for traffic, parking the car, dressing for an outing. Again, totally relate to that. Rationalization. They minimize the distress and inconvenience that others must put up with because of their lateness. They think, oh, they're my friends, will understand. The person with undeveloped time self boundaries ends up frustrating not only others, but himself. Task completion, right? Which is another area. This is just nailing me, man. So, let's see. So one of the things he talks about in this task completion, their internal no hasn't been developed enough to keep them focused on finishing things. So I've got to really reflect on that. Like, okay, my internal no, how do I develop it? How do I develop my internal no? How do I develop my internal yes? How do I develop my internal boundaries? Because clearly I have not done that, which is, again, just to be my age and to not have developed this stuff yet is just, part of it is embarrassing. Part of it is kind of overwhelming. Part of it is shocking. There's I got a number of different words. The other part is I'm thankful that finally I can get some traction in my life as I'm continuing to get emotional healing through this emotional growth journey. So that is my leadership application takeaway, because here's the deal. Clearly, boundaries and emotional intelligence, which boundaries I feel are a function of emotional intelligence, directly impact the bottom line in your life in all these different areas. The bottom line in all 360-degree areas of our lives. And so I'm super excited to be on this journey, because I am ready to make the third and fourth quarter of my life more impactful than the second than the first and second quarters of my life, so that we can change the world by changing your world, by changing you and me. Love you guys.